Alright, another day, another rescue. Today we got a silver arowana that was sold as a pink arowana. 3 to 4 years old. Came from a nice family in Estero or Fort Myers, southern Fort Myers, Florida. I didn't catch the owner's name. Wife's name is Marlena, I think. Anyhow, this fish lived in a 150 gallon for about 3.5 years. The owner bought her as a baby. It was allegedly a lot pinker, a lot more pink on it. It looks a little pinky to me too, but it's quite dark in color. So because the tank was dark and the light was blue from what I could see. But we'll put her in our tank and compare. Maybe it is a little pinkier. I usually thought that had to do with the diet, or maybe even artificial dyeing. I'm done changing water, it's fully acclimated, it's ready to go. We'll compare it to our 2 silver arowana in 4,500 gallon. Here's our new home for the arowana. We got her reeled inside. By the way, it's a she, I think, from the length of the extensions on the pelvic fins, reaching way past the anus, which in my homegrown efforts shown to be the trait of females. Okay, sweetie, last step. There you go. That's Mike and Amanda's arowana. She grew quite a bit, put on good weight too, much bigger than she was when we got her. This is Bickerina, our biggest female. The new guy, or girl I should say, the new girl hit the lids or something real bad this week or a few days ago. And pretty much her 2 feelers on the bottom jaw are hanging by a thread. I don't know if it's gonna, it doesn't look like it can even grow back. So it's probably gonna fall off and she will not have any feelers on her bottom jaw anymore. But welcome to your new home. After she spends some time here, we'll compare the colors to see if there's any change or any difference, I should say. Yeah, poor thing. Well, as the prior owner said, for the most part it was doing all right in its 150, but once in a while it would try to jump out, hit the lids. Several times it was able to dislodge the lids and make it out of the tank and flop on the floor in the middle of the night. Luckily, so the owner heard it and put her back in the tank. So after that happened and the jumping, they realized the tank is a bit too small for it and decided to ask us to rescue it, which is much better than selling it to the highest bidder, who might put it in a same tank or smaller tank. But again, knowing my track record, it's not entirely safe with us either. They're live beings and I'm not the best fish keeper. And just like that, things can happen with live beings. Wherever there's life, there is sickness and death, hand in hand, side by side. But I'm sure when it comes down, it will enjoy all the new space, going from 150 gallons to 4,500 gallons. As I said, the tank was dark and lit by blue light, so that's why it's so dark, I think, right now. A lot of peers ask me about our arowana, whether they're albino. I always tell them I've never had an albino and don't intend on having, unless somebody needs a rescue. I don't buy anything albino on purpose. I'm not a fan of color morphs. But anyhow, they ask us if ours are albino because they're so pale. We keep them in dimly lit tanks with no sunlight. I mean, those blue lights probably had some UV in them. That's why this arowana is so dark. In the hurricane, when we lost our tarp and the shade cloth, and these tanks have been exposed to sunlight for a couple of months. Our arowana, back then we had about 7 of them or more, got real dark too, really tan. So I would say this is a tan arowana, and ours are very, very much white, as in not suntan. Bicarina. I forgot if we need... Oh yeah, that Mike and Amanda's arowana just was establishing her dominance over the newcomer. It wasn't a nasty bite, but it was just a warning bite. Like, make no mistake, I'm higher in the hierarchy than you are. That was the kind of a bite it was. Yeah, I've never seen a arowana have such a damage on their lower jaw that the whiskers are, there's like a half an inch of skin hanging. So it's gonna fall off, I'm pretty sure. We do have 6 more arowana that we're growing up. If you remember, those of you who watch our channel know. Now they're all combined in one tank, 1800 gallon. The one that ticks people off and they keep yelling at me, there's too many fish in it. So that's one of the younger ones. So there's 3 younger ones and 3 slightly older ones. Older ones are slightly bigger. Younger ones are slightly smaller. They differ by about 3 months or so, maybe 4. In the timing that we got them. So there is 6 of them in here growing up. When they're big enough, they're gonna graduate hopefully into that 4,500 gallon. And if God is willing, everybody lives, 6 plus 3, we'll have 9 silver arowana in there. And hopefully we're gonna have some pairs, females, males, and I mean, there's only one alpha pair that will have babies again for us. Last time we had baby arowana was a long time ago, like 5 years ago or more. When they're that young, it looks like all of their pelvic fins are extensions on the pelvic fins are reaching past the anus. So I don't really try to sex really young arowana, even though some of them are obviously much, like this one is really, really long. And then the other one is also long. But like on this one, they're not as long, I would say, but oh, maybe there are. But on some of them, they don't look like that long. But again, it's it's wishy-washy. It's too early to sex them. My belief is, maybe wrong, again, this is my homegrown method that I observed with our arowana. Maybe males keep biting their extensions off as they grow and as they fight when they're combined. Maybe that's why theirs are so much shorter from observations. I'm talking about these extensions right there on the pelvic fin. And the anus is right there where the bottom fin begins. Anyhow, I need to turn the light off to let the new arowana come down. I fed this tank yesterday. Yesterday was a feeding tank, so everybody should not have any predatory behavior on their mind. And we'll go from there. Victorina is like, by weight, is 10 times bigger than the newcomer. And Mike and Amanda's arowana is probably like 3 times bigger by weight. Even though it looked like that arowana also, the newcomer, what was that? Mike and Amanda's rescue was about 2 or 3 months ago now. This is 2 hours later. The new girl is doing okay, it seems. It jumped a few times in the cooler when I was driving, right after we took off, and then it calmed down after probably hitting its head a few times. You see in the back, Victorina and Mike and Amanda's arowana are circling. We're coming up on the spawning season, so they will do some song and dance. Even if they're both females, they still will try to figure out who's the alpha female, even though there is no male, I think. I see that there is one scale is missing from the left-hand side, on the left-hand side. Right there. So that's probably the work of the arowana that lived here, the older arowana. Not necessarily the older, but I mean the ones that had been here before the new one came. There was Bigger Bad expressing a little interest in dominating the new girl. Anyhow, overall I think is doing alright. We'll keep monitoring closely and update you as appropriate.